What's up everybody, Arrg the Pirate here, and today I'm going to be playing Arrg Greystone in the Off Lane. As always, let's go over the deck first. Now I have Fast Travel, Healing Towers, Auto Health Potion, Duelist with Power, Lifesteal with Ability Armor, and Critical Hits with Health and Basic Armor. For the cards, I have Cull the Weak, Unbroken Spirit, Vital Waters, Flame, which I actually end up not picking, Chanting Shaman, which is another card I kind of just really don't utilize, Servoke Initiate, for the name of this card is, Guard Piercer, Withering Shadow, Possessed Sprykin, Exoskeleton, One of the Tribe, and Green Spring. So in this deck I have one of those cannot unequip cards, the cursed cards, and that is that Possessed Sprykin. Now it costs 3 vitality points, and it gives 6 power, 120 health, and 12.5 health regen. So it is actually an amazing card for only costing 3 points, but the kicker is you can't unequip it. And I'm kind of thinking, you know, that 12.5 health regen, that is absolutely insane. If I can get that on early while my tier 1 tower is up, I'll be able to defend it forever. On top of that, I get that extra health boost, and I'm getting 6 power for just a 3-point card that, you know, provides a little bit of sustain as well. So I'm kind of hoping that this card will allow me to really thrive in this off lane. So I am back on my main account. It feels like forever since I got to play on it, and I do have Healing Towers, so that really helps out. And I cannot stress how much Healing Towers helps out in that off lane position. Unfortunately, I still don't have it on that lower account, so that really limits my early game depending on the hero that I pick. But as you can see here, Healing Towers is just so good. And then paired with that Sprykin and, you know, just a few of the beginning cards that I have, I'm going to end up getting something like 40 health regen under a tower at like level 8 or something like that. So, you know, I'm basically healing for the damage that Murdoch's able to do. And, or, you know, as long as I'm under my tower, and I end up holding this tower for something like 20 minutes. You know, which I typically would let that tower fall just so I have the ability to rotate. And when you allow your tower to fall, one great thing about that is the ADC goes and looks for farm elsewhere. And the kind of big thing about them leaving is that allows you to push against their lane. But if you constantly keep them in your lane, they will, you know, they're not going to rotate because you're constantly pushing, and all you're doing is feeding each other, which, you know, getting farm is never a bad thing, but it's much better to starve the enemy team by, you know, having them to where if they're pushing up too far, you're going to kill them, or, you know, starve them by slow farming and then pushing very fast and downing towers. And, you know, I've kind of don't really do that. I just wanted to see how well this deck would perform if I'm just going, I'm going to defend this tower with everything that I have. And yeah, like I said, I end up defending it for 20 minutes, which usually games are only lasting 25 minutes. So it's pretty crazy. And, you know, I'm really happy with this deck. Now, one thing about using that Possessed Sprykin is you do kind of sacrifice your in-game. Because it is that cursed card, you cannot remove it. And it is nowhere near the power of an end-game card. But to be quite honest, I don't really end up getting to a full end-game. You know, whenever I typically think about in-game cards, I'm thinking 13-point cards. And so 2 13-point cards, that's 26 points, which, you know, that's quite a bit. And then with my curse card, that's got me sitting at 29 points, which I can honestly say I don't hit 29 points very often. I mean, I think I can probably count the number of games that I've actually hit 29 points. You know, and I don't know if that's just because I've been spending so much time in the lower ranks, but I have started playing with my main account again, and I still kind of feel the same. We actually played a 15-minute game the other day, and the game was over at 10 minutes. They just had to wait for 15 minutes so they could surrender. And that's really kind of how I see the new Paragon. It's this farm game that whoever gets farmed the fastest is going to win. And I don't really see just crazy balanced matches anymore. It's always very one-sided matches that are ending very, very early. And even when they aren't one-sided matches, everybody kind of gets fed at 25 minutes, and then, you know, one team gets punished for a bad move, and then the game's over, which actually happens in this match. And, you know, it's still, you know, 25, 30-minute games, and so you're never really getting to, you know, 40 points in your tree, which you would really need 39 points to get, you know, 3 13-point cards, and I don't see that happening very often. I don't even really see 2 13-point cards with an 8-point card very often. So I think you are sacrificing your end game and you're taking up a slot. So running something like this Possessed Sprykin with, you know, Flame might not be the best idea, because yeah, you are down a card slot, but I think it's a great card, and I've had a ton of success with it. Now, of course, I'm not going to show 20 minutes of me just standing at my tower and defending it. Like I said, I really wanted a test to see how I could do with counter pushing and, you know, just really being a threat. I wanted to get this card on early and actually jump out there, try to, you know, take on an Aurora and a Murdoch, you know, really see what this card offers. And as you can see, I'm still very healthy. I'm able to get a decent farm. Of course, I only have 14 last hits at this point, but later on, you know, I end up just completely ignoring Murdoch and Aurora. Aurora even ults me a couple of times, and I mean, I just walk back to my tower, wait 5 seconds, and I'm back up to full health. So I'm really enjoying this build, and I really think it's a very strong build. But like I said, if you do play those 45-minute matches, I think you're going to be at a disadvantage. But if you're going to play one 45-minute match in 50 matches that you play, you know, I think the risk is worth it. So here at 8.5 minutes in, we get our first rotation, and Grux ends up coming in, and we're able to take out this Aurora. You know, she does use her ultimate, but I ended up jumping ahead of her, so I could actually keep my make way on her, but luckily Grux's bleed ended up getting her, so, you know, we secured that kill, and we really pushed Murdoch back a little bit, and, you know, he's very threatened by me at this point. I'm not doing just any kind of damage to him, but he really can't hurt me. Now, I end up trying to take gold buff again, but unfortunately he grabbed it. But it's at 9 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and clear up this wave, and then I'm going to go back and get that Sprykin on, and I'm going to really see what this card can do. So now that I'm back with my Possessed Sprykin, I'm going to really see what this card can do. Luckily, I'm able to get back before they push into my tower, but both Aurora and Murdoch are fairly healthy, and they have a decent wave coming in that's pretty much uncontested. And if you see here, I'm just healing right back up. Look at the amount of damage that I've got, and on top of how much damage I'm able to put out. I mean, this card is just so good in the beginning game. Now, I chase this Murdoch. I'm really hoping to get a pick, but I end up diving a little bit and realize, hey, I'm probably just going to end up dying here going for that kill. I'd rather keep my ultimate than get an ADC pick, so he's going to be forced out of lane anyways. Aurora's, you know, she's about half health, so I'm not too concerned about her, and she's getting fairly low on mana as well. Now my lane's pushing pretty well, so I'm just going to take this time to go back to base, get a couple more, you know, fill up on mana, fill up on health, and just kind of reset myself. I don't need to be pushed up that far for one thing in their lane, and we are definitely against a team. I'm not sure if it's a 5-stack or not, but just the way they rotate and help out each other, you can tell that we're in a team. Of course, I don't know this at the moment, but you can definitely tell they're, you know, in some sort of a team, and I don't want to be pushed up that far because that's just asking for a gank. Now, I do end up heading back in lane. If you can see here, I'm kind of keeping my eye out on that off lane, you know, fog wall, just because I really don't know where Aurora is, and you know, an ult from her could really hurt. So I just kind of want to play a little more cautiously. I end up spotting her, so, you know, it's, hey, no big deal. Now, you can see here, she's doing no damage to me. I'm taking no damage, and look, I'm back at full health again. So I would highly recommend this build right here. For early game, I'm just absolutely blown away with how well this build feels, especially on Greystone, because I do have that passive where I block basic attacks, and, you know, I'm just a strong hero. And you can see, she ends up ulting me, and I still end up getting that kill. You know, of course, Grux did come in there and help out, but, you know, she ulted me, and I'm not even down a half health. You know, that's absolutely insane. And if you look, I'm slowly healing back up, and before I even get back to my tower, I'm going to be at full health almost. I'm able to tank minion waves, and, you know, that's at level 10, you know, you should be able to do these type of things with Greystone, but I've only got, what is this, 5 points into the cards right now, and I'm able to do just this amount of destruction. I really think that this build is definitely worth. I was really hoping to get that kill right there. I dove the tower again. I am playing just a little bit, you know, too aggressive, and I end up paying for it later on. But, you know, hey, I wanted to test out this build, and like I said, I'm just completely blown away with how well this build feels. Now at 14 minutes in, I'm able to head back, pick up my green spring, and I've just got massive amounts of health regen right now, and especially with healing towers on, if I'm under my tower, I'm just unstoppable. And you see, I just rush out there, go after that Murdoch with the full minion wave, barely take any damage, and look, I'm already back up to full health. This build is just absolutely blowing me away. I really enjoy, you know, I actually for once feel that, hey, I am a powerful off-laner. Although I'm not doing just crazy amounts of damage, I've never built my Greystone to be just a crazy damage dealer. I always built them kind of like a bruiser. And, you know, the bruiser builds have kind of gone away for that mid-early game. And you're more about the sustain. You'll have, you know, kind of like I have here. I've got a sustain card and a damage-ish, more kind of sustain card. And I really like this build. I really feel strong. You know, I did not use Font of Experience, and you can see the level advantage is just absolutely huge. I'm really enjoying this. And look, they try to make a push into the tower, and they're not able to do anything. I've really got to say, this build feels... This is the first build that I've actually played where I feel, hey, this is a very solid build. I feel strong early game. I feel strong mid game. I feel strong late game. You know, maybe I did not get to the, you know, real late game, but I felt strong this entire match, which I have not felt that way in Paragon version 42 with any hero. Now you can see here, I'm at half health. I've still got that same build. I run back to the tower and look, with healing towers on and everything like that, look at my health going up. This is, you know, I have a feeling that there needs to be some balancing done, maybe. I'm not exactly sure, but Shimby heads over to try to kill me. She can't handle me. You know, I've got a fairly decent rotation over here with the ADC, you know, a damage support, and a ganker, you know, and they're still not able to, you know, fully take me down. I end up, you know, going in and, hey, I'm gonna get this Shimby. She was lazy backing right there. Don't end up taking her out, but we do end up getting their Aurora. Now, Murdoch's doing some significant damage to me, but you can see this health regen, it's kicking in. I'm getting healthy just as fast as he's shooting me. So I go ahead and jump on my tower and head back to base. I need to top off. I did use my ultimate, so, you know, it's best to be safe than sorry. I don't want to stay out there and die for no reason. Now, on this last back, they end up taking my tower down, which is, you know, it's 21 minutes. That's quite alright. Countess ends up coming in. You can see she's doing significant damage to me. You know, Countess is very strong right now, and everybody kind of needs to be aware of her. I would definitely say that later game I actually do have some ability armor, and that would be very beneficial for me. So I just haven't got there yet. Now, they do end up taking my ultimate away from me, but I am able to get out. Their Murdoch was very low, and with that Aurora ult, he's able to just do a just massive amount of damage to me while, you know, just staying out of range of my ult, or I probably would have downed him. But it's okay. We ended up, all in all, it was a 2-for-1 trade. Our Grux goes down, their Shimby goes down, so Countess and Shimby for a jungler. You know, hey, that's probably worth, and it was a great, you know, rotation and team effort on both our parts. We really had kind of a collapse when I really wasn't expecting one, so, you know, that's great, and we're able to get back in lane at, you know, very healthy again. I'm level 15, so I've got that short ultimate cooldown, and we're gonna just make way here and really push some towers. Now, I end up pushing up to this tier 1, and Aurora's here, which, man, I'm not concerned about Aurora at all. You know, Aurora's a great hero. She's got great CC, and she can really change a team fight from a win to a loss. But by herself, Aurora does not offer much. And you can see here, I'm able to take down her tower, and she ults me, but I've got my make way going, so she can't even get close to me to damage me. Now I chase this a little bit, Sevarog shows up, and I turn around and Murdoch's there. So it's, hey, it's time for me to get out. I'm out of mana, and, you know, so I don't really have an escape other than my ultimate. I still do have my ultimate, and with this massive health regen that I have, you can see I'm just healing right back up. I'm almost at half health again. Now, Grux rotated over to help me out, and I'm going, hey, man, you gotta get out, you gotta get out. And, you know, unfortunately, they were able to keep him stunned and rooted and just absolutely demolished him. You know, that was kind of a miscommunication on our parts. He wanted to come over and help, and when I was just full out retreating, you know, if I would have died there, it would have been just 100% my fault. And I think that's kind of a lesson that we can all learn. You can't help everybody, no matter how hard you want to. Even if you're a support hero, you can't help everybody. And I've got 3 heroes chasing me that were all fairly healthy. Grux coming over there might keep me alive, but it's going to cost him his life, which I might have been able to get out regardless of him coming over there. He for sure traded his life for mine, but, you know, there's no sense if you've got a player that is constantly pushing up too far. and getting caught out of position, there's no sense in sacrificing yourself for them, because they're going to continue to do that. And they might actually turn around and try to help you when you're helping them and end up dying anyways. So if someone gets caught out, unless you 100% know that you can save them and you're going to have a team effort, don't sacrifice yourself to keep someone alive. Now, their whole team is over dealing with our safe lane, so I'm going to really push this off lane hard. And Shimby ends up showing up. Now, I haven't faced off against a Shimby yet, so I really want to see, what I can do against her. Of course, she does have some lifesteal, and she's pretty tricky to hit, but, Severog ends up coming in there, and that really saved her. Now, hey, I'm pissed off now, so I'm gonna kill her. End up dying for it, but, it was worth it. I hate Shimby. She's, I don't like her. So, I end up taking her out and dying for it, which, I would have been able to get away if I'd have just let her run away. But still, I don't like Shimby. Now, after I respawn, I end up pushing my lane all the way back to their tier 2 and get some pressure on it, and I rotate to mid. Now, Shimby's here in mid, and like I said, don't like Shimby. So, I end up kind of hurting her a little bit. I end up grabbing purple buff and then hitting the mid, and I guess Shimby just thought I went away, and she was going in on our Narbash. Now, I'm able to do a significant amount of damage to her, and still I remain at full health. And this is really going to, be a great fight. She comes back in fairly weak, and, I guess she was really hoping to get a lot of lifesteal with her, swirly wolf things, but that just didn't happen. Now we get a great triple kill, or our team gets a triple kill, and now is the time to really push some lanes. So we've got our safe lane pushing fairly well. I was going to head into our off lane and get it pushing, but Twin Blast is there, so I'm just going to allow him to farm. We need our carries to get farm, so I'm just going to concentrate my efforts on mid lane. Now, the number one thing I see teams do is when they get these great kills like this, they don't go for objectives. Now, we could have gone for Prime right now, but with our team so scattered out and their team about to spawn back in, it's just really not worth going for Prime if they can come over there and steal it. And, this keeping this pressure up is going to allow their off-lane tower to take significant damage. We're going to just really concentrate on this mid lane. Now, Countess was able to kind of come behind our gadget and take her out. Now, I tell Grux, hey, bud, we got to get out of here. Don't worry about it. And they've kind of reset their lanes, and they're re-pushing. We've still got their Murdoch is still down, but our gadget is now down, so they're going to be stronger for a good 30 seconds before we're back to full strength. And, now's kind of the time that we need to come back, play a little safer and everything like that. Unfortunately, Twin Blast and Narbash end up getting caught out in their jungle, and they have a massive rotation. They almost got a couple of kills there, but they end up both going down, and I was just leaving base, so there was nothing I could do. So now we've got 3 down, and this kind of is the beginning of the end. They're able to make some massive pushes. They end up getting Prime. We really got punished for having, that just out of position kill right there. And, that's kind of another thing that, the pirate crew is still a lot of lower level players, and me being on my main account, we're playing on a higher elo, and so not everybody's most of my crew is used to playing in these lower elos where you don't get punished near as hard for making these small little errors. But this is kind of a wake-up call to my team as, hey, you're going to be punished when when you're out of position, you're going to be punished. And if you see here, we lose our tier 2. I was defending mid, which, we probably could have split up and done a little better job. That wasn't just on one person there. That was kind of a team effort. We also had, they end up picking up Prime, and although they don't just march down a lane, we're able to defend fairly well. Them having Prime and able to just turn this game completely around is not only a morale boost or, a morale dampener, but it hurts us because they're going to have all their lanes pushed when we had all of ours pushed, and it's really painful. Now they end up taking our tier 2 in mid, but we do end up getting their ADC down, which their ADC is going to be out of the fight when they have Prime, and that's going to be absolutely huge. But I go ahead and head back to that off lane. I'm going to try to get it pushing. We've got a pretty big counter push in our safe lane, and I'm hoping that they'll be distracted enough to where maybe I can make some leeway here. Their Countess is in our jungle kind of running around. You can see their Sevarog is collapsing too in mid. So they're not actually playing objectives, which is what you should be doing when you have Prime. So I'm going to hopefully take this and use this to my advantage. And so far, hey, it ends up doing a pretty good job. Now, I do end up getting their inhib down right now, and that was just specifically because, hey, I'm telling my team, y'all defend, I'm going to push this lane, and I'm just going to die for this inhib if I have to. We're going to get this inhib. They just got out of Prime. We need to make a play right here. And unfortunately, our gadget went down right there. When you end up sacrificing yourself for an inhib, it's always best to not have a death. Because that means you're going to be down 3 people. And of course, they're going to have to deal with that massive lane push. It's always best to not have to deal with that. Now, my idea here is I'm going to try to get green, maybe survive this. I knew I was about to go down. I was out of mana. There was really nothing I could do. But that is a great distraction. That's going to hopefully free my team up. We ended up having a DC with our Twin Blast, and this really cost us the game. We had 4 people down, and our Twin Blast was disconnected for a few minutes there when we really needed an ADC, or we really needed our main damage dealer to be there. And unfortunately, this ends up costing us the game. But that's really okay. You cannot win every game, and you're really not expected to win every game. So no big deal. We'll make improvements, and we'll come back a stronger team. Well, that's going to kind of wrap it up. I highly recommend this build, guys. This is a great build. I had a lot of fun. I gotta say, this is, I've said that a couple of times now, but this is definitely my favorite build, and I had the most fun playing this Greystone, which I'm not an offlaner, so, that's really saying something. But thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, show me some love, leave me a comment, think about subscribing, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.